She has actually served several leadership positions in Fortune 5 companies like Coca-Cola and IBM. She established her own consulting firm called Cachet Consulting, and from that quickly became not only a global tourism leader, but an inspiration globally. She serves on CNN's International Strategic Tourism Initiative as the lead advisor and consultant, and she's also a strategic counselor to the World Bank and United Nations Tourism Organization. So please join me in welcoming Anita Mendiratta.
To the chairman and the board of USTOA, the executive team, to Peggy, for all of your efforts to get me here, ladies and gentlemen, members of the global tourism community, dear friends. It is my immense honor to be clicking through, to join you here today, having come across the world, really for what is the very special honor and occasion of your 40th anniversary. I was given a very clear brief from Terry in terms of looking at the next 40 years of tourism. And I thought, oh, for heaven's sakes, I can do that with the greatest pleasure. But the fact remains, we don't know what the next 40 days are going to be like. From Washington to Athens, from Cairo to Manila, we have seen risky financial crisis, political crisis, and now natural disaster taking place. How can we possibly predict the future? So it is my job here today to allow you all to just step back a little bit, allow your inner child to come out. And I don't want you to think about why you do what you do. I want you to feel it. And I want you to touch into the heartbeat that Terry and all of the team have put in place so far to get a sense of why do we do what we do and why does it matter? Because what you do has a profound impact on every single day in which we live. The fact remains that the world in which we live in, its borders are racing. Every single day events are taking place that matter across the world. What Washington decides by the end of the year will impact the European economy. How Manila recovers from the typhoon will affect the entire ASEAN region. What's also very important to recognize is that 1 week from today, on December 13th, 1 billion international arrivals are going to be reached. That is a milestone of our generation and a massive achievement. It is traveling that is changing borders. It is traveling that is allowing people to come together. It is traveling that is connecting the world. Why is it happening? Because people want to come together. For all the technology that we have, and all of the ability to connect one-to-one, we could have 650 people dialing in right now and effectively having a webinar of this event. But there's something special about being here, of being able to have the one-to-one dialogues about the power of touch. Equally, we found, particularly on the West, if you want to do business with the East, you need to go there. It's about relationships. It's not just about ROI. It's about building those partnerships that are definitely insulated against the storms that take place economically and politically. It's about making that connection. Similarly, it's about understanding how the world is now connected, being where it happened. For those of you who've been, who've seen, you cannot do a trip to South Africa without going to Robben Island. To taste the wines in South Africa is magnificent, but you need to feel what it was like looking into cell number 46664 and why the South African miracle exists. The incredible thing about that place as well, it is the former prisoners and the former wardens who are now the tour guides. And when they talk about their experience together, the pride they share in the South African miracle is something that you take home and you put your cameras down because you can never capture it. Similarly, going to a destination and playing a part, people want to feel as if they're giving something back. Major terror attacks that we've had on this world, major disasters that have taken place because of acts of God, have made us want to feel as if we are doing more than going to a place and taking from it. We want to give back, which is why people are building houses. They're teaching. They're reconnecting at a one-to-one level. Why does it matter? Why do 1 billion international arrivals really matter? I'm afraid to say it's not about the beaches and the bikinis. It's not about the tourists. The tourists are critical, and God bless them. This hotel resort needs these 650 people here, walking around, soaking up all of the sunshine and all of the alcohol. They need that. I've heard rumors. Why do they need it? It's exactly what has already been indicated. Our industry is the third biggest economic sector in the world. We are only behind automotive and banking. More importantly and more proudly, we are the only sector that did not ask for a bailout. We are the only sector that did not ask for help. We stood up tall and we said, we are the industry that can get people working again. More importantly, we can get them back together again, focused on the place they live in. We are 1 in 12 jobs worldwide. 1 in 12 jobs around the world comes from our industry. If you look at what that means, 1 in 12 people are able to wake up in the morning, go and play a role in some type of business, whether it's cutting pineapples or working with the president of USTOA, whatever it is, 1 in 12 people do something every day that gives them a sense of participation and a sense of pride. It also gives them money to take home. That money keeps the lights on, it feeds their children, it pays for school fees, and it allows them to feel a sense of purpose. That is the most important statistic in the entire tourism industry. 1 in 12 people gain a sense of worth because of what you do. That is $1 trillion directly every single year. 9% of investment goes into infrastructure for tourism. The beauty is that when countries develop airports for tourism, rail systems, communication systems, the tourists come and they use it, and then they leave. And it's the locals who get to keep it. It is their asset to keep and to make use of. That creates national competitiveness. It is all about competitiveness these days. Everything comes down to how well countries compete. It's also about local pride. Because when people play a part in the tourism industry, they're proud of their home. For anyone who had the blessing of going to London during the Olympics this year, there were 80,000 volunteers across the UK wearing purple shirts and proudly standing up and saying, I'm a volunteer, how can I help? Did anyone tell that entire market that they just took a double dip in the recession? Yes, but it didn't matter. Tourism allows people to forget about me only and remember it's about us and to support their flag. It's also the best way to understand people. If you want to understand what Brunei is like, you can hear about the Sultanate of Brunei and the kingdom and everything that they've created, or you can meet someone from Brunei and they make an impression in your heart, which allows us to come together far more closely as people than anything else. What we often forget, however, we know the statistics, we've got it, we get the business case. What we often forget, tourism is actually the industry that takes care of what we care for. It is tourism that is taking care of the environment. It is tourism that is keeping culture alive and allowing us as people to celebrate that culture. It is tourism that is protecting heritage. Building plots that could easily be turned into parking lots are being protected because of what tourism is attracting over and above the revenues. It is tourism that keeps folklore alive. It is tourism that keeps traditions alive. And for all the women in the room, Mendi, which is henna, which is a very traditional form of Asian and Middle Eastern way of cooling the body during the bridal ceremony, has now become a very sexy fashion around the world. It is because tourists went home wearing the Mendi and showed it off, and now it's been spread around and worn with more pride everywhere in the world. It is tourism that keeps communities together. One of the greatest ways to break up a family is for one of the parents, normally the father, to have to go to the big city to make money to pay for the family. Tourism allows families to stay together because it allows us to create opportunities in their home places. That keeps the fabric of society together. And importantly, it's tourism that keeps wildlife protected. We are in the industry that the Diane Fossey organization is saying, if it were not for guerrilla tourism, if it were not for the people who are willing to put money down and spend 6 hours amongst the thick wildlife of Rwanda, of Uganda, to find the gorillas, those gorillas would have been killed for one simple reason, poaching. The value of a gorilla hand is an ashtray somewhere in the world. The value of gorilla meat. If it were not for tourism, those environments would not have the money to be able to pay for the groups and to pay for the treatment centers of the little teeny baby girls who sadly lost a parent because of what was happening. It is our industry that is keeping the ecosystem alive. Equally, it is our industry that is standing up and saying, you can come and play in our country, you can come and play in our resorts, but you keep your hands off our children. It is tourism that is stepping up with a voice to allow our ethics to become one of the dominant features of how we make sure our industry engages with the world. Tourism is conscious in action. We forget that on an ongoing basis, but if it were not for your industry, if it were not for the way in which you encourage travelers to celebrate the world, there are parts of the world that would simply shut down in what they stand for. If we look ahead, if we now look at 40 years out, if we get a sense of where are we and where are we going, what we do know is that our industry is absolutely seeing growth. We've seen it in the statistics, we've seen it in everything we've seen in our businesses, and we know it in our heart. We are not a generation that is used to discomfort, and the last few years have been very painful. But what we found as an industry, people would far rather put their money into going on a little break, even if it's only 4 days, than paying a therapist. Our industry is an overwhelmed therapy because it's a sense of, I need this and I need to feel better. Rather do that lying on the beach than lying in someone's leather office and being billed for it. So what do we see? What changes do we see? What we can see is that if we look at 2012 being the point at which we reach 1 billion tourists, in only 20 years' time, that number is going to double. We will reach 2 billion international arrivals by 2030. What we're also seeing is that the trajectory is coming from Asia. The travel is going to be driven by the Asian markets. No question about it. Yes, it's China. Yes, it's India. It's also Japan. It's also Korea. It's also those emerging markets. That is where the growth is coming from, in addition to the other markets. So what do we know about the trends and the truths? We all know the trends. We all get a sense of what's going on technologically. We get a sense of what's happening statistically. But if we really just sit still and shut our eyes and think, what do we know? What do we really know about why this industry is growing? These are some of the truths. The need for technology to keep us connected 24/7, 365 is only going to increase. One of the reasons why is that our psyches are now linked to our phones. And if we get off a plane and we turn on our phone and there are no messages, there's a sense of, oh, something's wrong with the service provider. It's because in the last 2 hours, no one felt the need to call you. It's okay. We need the technology. We need the gadgets. And it's all about, do you have the iPad? Yes, I've got the new little iPad. It's all about the toys. However, the more we have technology, the more we need the touch. And that's one of the beauties. Our technology, ironically, as much as it's built to keep us connected, it's actually pushing us apart. It is not okay to send someone a text message to say, I love you. That doesn't work. You have to back it up with at least 3 times the vocal. It is not okay to send someone an email to say happy birthday. Take that quick phone. There's a reason why Valentine's Day is becoming more of a tourism opportunity now. There's a reason why people in America will fight the airports at Thanksgiving to be together, to overeat and overstuff and overchat, and then get back home again. People need the touch. And God bless Apple, you cannot create a hug app. That's not possible. Number 2, we have Google, we have Bing, we have all the ways in the world to understand what's going on in the world. But people want to be there. There's a reason why, after the revolution last year, in Cairo, the #1 tourism destination was Tahrir Square. People wanted to stand on the ground where the first winds of change of the Arab Spring started to blow. There's something about being there and feeling it. There's something about making that connection, and that will continue to drive the quest to go there and to see it. I wouldn't recommend Tahrir Square right now, but after everything is passed, it is quite remarkable, especially when you see how in many ways these little hubs have truly changed the world in which we live. DIY travel, we talk about this. We talk about all the online searches and the fact that our role as a travel operator has been challenged. What value do we have? travel will fuel global growth. No question about it. We know the statistics. However, it's not just about following the little flags. It's following the women in groups of 2 and 3 who will get on a plane from Beijing or Shanghai and fly all the way to London to stand in Harrods to buy a Louis Vuitton, even though they put it in Hong Kong. Why? Because I can. The badge value of tourism is massive. Those Asian travelers want to show where they've come from and what they're now capable of. There is work and there is dignity in to be able to show off, I bought it in Harrods. That's not a real bag. You got that in Hong Kong. And number 5, exactly as has come out through the PwC study, travelers will seek increasingly experiences that are pure, that are unique, that are adventurous, and that are lifetime experiences. However, that is costing the lifeline of many parts of the world in which we are going. It is our responsibility and our link in the chain to remind people the responsibility of being a tourist. Just because you have a passport and you've got a credit card does not entitle you to walk into someone's house and not know whether or not to take your shoes off. That's really important because tourists can cause culture shock more than they can experience it. We need to make sure that tourists recognize, as you go out into the big wide world, understand the responsibility that carries and leave only footprints. Because those little guys should not be eating plastic for breakfast. So as we look ahead, how do we decide what next? What we do know is that tourism, travel, is going to be a fundamental part of our lives. Whether it's for work or for play, we need it. We need to keep moving. Everyone in this room is technically a nomad. We all know it. Our post goes somewhere, our plants die somewhere, but we are always somewhere else. We know it's a part of where we are going. How do we, however, tap into that in a way that's going to make our world more effective going forward? And tapping into the words of one of my favorite people in the tourism industry, the Secretary General of the USTOA, this is what he had to say, and his contribution that he wanted to make to our session today. The last 40 years have seen our growth from 189 million people to 1 billion. That is absolutely a revolution. The next 40 years, however, are simply going to increase the responsibility that we have to make sure that the benefits are shared, that they are shared with the industry, they are shared with the traveler, but importantly, they're shared with the destination, the community, the people, and the little 2, 4, 8, 16-legged creatures that also call that destination home. That is our job going forward. The numbers will continue to change, the challenges will be there. Through it, we will find out who our friends are. And exactly as has been said by Terry and then by John, our job is to keep together closer to make sure that everything we do moves our industry forward and moves each of us forward. It is our job to make that billion count, and make it count not just in the numbers, but in the heartbeats.